Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode 96 of BU Squallers. I just got a new computer. It's amazing to go from technology that was really old to new technology, but I need to work on my OBS's sound once again to get that worked out. I know that it's loud enough, but there's going to be a lot of static. That's frustrating. It's a snowball microphone, a white one, so maybe that's the problem. It's been a while since I played last, and it's been so long that I don't remember half of the things that are going on, but yeah. So we're going to start this episode off with the fact that we lost the Super Bowl, and Clark Hunt won his first Super Bowl. I just couldn't believe it. Anyways, what we're going to start off with, episode 96 is going to have the retirements. Who retired today? Let's see. Eric Berry, Mike Idupi. I don't know how you say it, but no. Look at these big names: Mason Crosby, the Silver Fox, Richard Sherman, Bill Joseph, AJ Green, Mike Daniels, Doug Baldwin. Angry Doug Baldwin retired. Alex Smith, Geno Atkins, Josh Norman retired. I bet you had. Wonder who was faster, Richard Sherman or Josh Norman. I know who was stronger. Julio Jones, Chris Harris Jr., Von Miller, Brendan Graham. They're all going. Jerry Hughes from South Dallas. That's our retirement list. I'm not going to go over them all, but there are many players. But Whitney Merciless, Eric Kendricks, Patrick Severus Jenkins. Look at this. Made up players getting released. Yannick Ngakoue, Deion Jones, Zach Palmer, David Mayo, Philly Brown, like that name. Kenny Stills. Kenny Stills. Brett Hundley. Oh no. Derrick Henry, C.J. Anderson, Lucky Whitehead. Hey, he was killed us in the Cowboys series that one time. We won, but he was their weapon. Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy G. Oh, look at that. Blake Martinez and Kyle Brazina. Jacoby Brissett is released. Wow. There's so much to go over before we move on. Jerry Hughes. Scooby Wright. Oh, wow. Seahawks gave up on Michael Fortier. Mike McCarthy is gone. We released a couple players too. But, oh, look at that. They canned Mike McCarthy. Huh. That's amazing. 2 head coaches changes were Michael Fortier is now with the Broncos, and a new head coach, Glenn Simpson, with the Bears. We got 14 players we're not going to bring back this year. Some of them are going to hurt, like our main star here, Matt Jones, got hurt a lot, but man, he was good in the playoffs. I mean, he was let me see here, edit comment. So it was a 4-year. Oh, he changed it. Now he just wants a 3-year, $15 million deal. Huh. He was ran the ball 288 times for 1,247 yards, 4.3 yards a carry with 3 fumbles and 5 touchdowns on 490 snaps. So we played half, and he had 8 catches for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, so it was a 2-time Super Bowl MVP for us. This was a great signing. This really pushed us over the rushing edge. So if he wasn't that he got hurt so often, he'd be a really phenomenal pick. But I think it's time to move on. I mean, he's still a very solid running back, but signing him now would lead us to, let's see, what would that give us? Oh, well, there's your answer. We don't have any salary cap anyways. Okay, next up is Wyatt Thompson. He was a draft pick, and oh, by the way, I gave him an A- for the season. Wyatt Thompson, he also, no, his request is still the same. 13 for 171 and 1 touchdown on 545 snaps. I gave him a C. He's blocking tight end. With slow development because of bad luck. So that was that. So Noah Spence. Noah Spence was one of the pickups. I'm gonna have to look to see when we signed Noah Spence. Let me see if I can pull this off. I don't have Excel yet, so I'm using Open Office. And that's a little different. Let me find him. Okay, so we've signed him in the 2020 season, him and Danielle Hunter. He wanted a 3-year, $13.7 million deal at 26 years old. So he's been on the team for those 3 years, and we decided not to re-sign him. Let's look at his statistics. No, career stats. Okay, so he wasn't really much of anything going into signing him, and whoever had him before, they didn't really use him much. Then came in for 3 years for us, 8, 10.5, and 6.5. So he had a down year last year, but it was still pretty decent. So let me see. It's 45 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, 6.5 sacks, 1 pass defended, 1 forced fumble on 1,016 snaps, 8th in tackles on the team, 3rd in sacks on the team. So give him a B, and we are not going to bring him back. Rasheen Finney, 0 stats on 20 snaps. Time for us to move on. I don't remember if he is a draft pick. We'll go over draft picks a little bit. Vince Delgado, he had 280 snaps and got 5 tackles, so he just didn't do much for us. And Louis Fast, he just isn't. We're just not looking for that kind of salary right now for him. Decided to move on. Marcus Murrell, 8 tackles on 160 snaps. D- for him as well. Another strong safety that just moving on from. Quentin Hardison here, wants $5 million over 2 years. He played 67 snaps and gave up 1 sack. And just moving on, not very strong. Dexter Houston was another pickup that he played 1 play. He wants $8.4 million. So we're moving on. And Tiago Johnson didn't get on the field at all, so moving on from him. Trent Hollenbach was a center. He played 2 plays while he was with the Packers this season. Moving on from him. Brandon, 1 sack on our 57 snaps, so he did get some play time, but moving on from him as well. Will Maring, 12 snaps played, 0 stats for it. Moving on, Taylor Blake was brought off of, he was injured the whole season, so he just played, I think, only in the playoffs, so 0 snaps. And then Cardinal Jones, which was kind of the fun pickup. He had a better QBR rating than Aaron Rodgers, but he completed 48% of his passes. So you tell me how that works. 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 48% completion passer rating, and then he just terrible. But not the future. That's my free agent, and I'm letting go. Continuing on, I'd just like to take a moment before we go into the next spot and talk about a big signing we did in 2018 for Matt Jones. We're letting him go now, but he was vital, and I did talk about him, but I want to go over his stats for so we signed him in 2018. And you can see he immediately had 4.2 yards a carry and 10 touchdowns, 4.4 yards a carry, 10 touchdowns, 4.4, 4.4, and then slipped a little bit to 4.3, 5 touchdowns. Each of those years, 11 and 20. Super Bowl MVP twice. He got hurt a lot, so he didn't play too much, but, he was a premier signing. He really turned the organization around. He was the Aaron Jones of the Packers. So hats off to Matt Jones. We're going to go next to our draft tracker. We'll do it by year. Uh-oh. Oh. No, I'm using a different program, and I don't know if I can search by... Oh no, I don't like that. That just hid everything. How do we unhide? Interesting. So the filter system in OpenOffice does not quite work like it does in Excel. Oh, that's going to make it really hard. Okay, give me a second. Alright, so I've decided that I have to get Microsoft Office at some point, because that's the only way that this is going to work. So I had a new computer, and I thought I could do it with OpenOffice, but that's not going to work. Their Excel is not good enough. And I like to make comments on there, and when you do it online, it fills up the spot. I don't know. It just doesn't work as well. So anyways, we're going to go through our... We have nobody left from the 17 draft. We have quite a few people actually left from the 18 draft, including our number 1 pick in there, the 28th overall. He was slow development. Now he's all the way moved to quick. I gave him an A for the season. 76 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, 3.5 sacks, 3 interceptions, 10 pass defenses, 3 forced fumbles on 1,089 snaps. He was first in tackles, 5th in sacks, 2nd in interceptions, and 1st in pass defenses for a middle linebacker whose strength is tackling. Is a run stopper, and he is the 2nd ranked linebacker in the league, and that's how you do Mr. 25-year-old Neil Stallings. So, very good signing. The next up that we drafted in the 2nd round of that same very draft was our 2nd wide receiver, Shaheem Favors. Gave him a B. He had 561 yards on 51 catches, 4 touchdowns on 940 snaps, 2nd in yards, 3rd in touchdowns. He was not his greatest year. He's kind of actually trended downwards a little bit, but his role responsibility has increased every year too, so there's that to go along with that. So hoping for a nice bounce back year next year. And next up is our starting right guard, Josiah Stubblefield. He did not start the previous year, so this was his first start year. He had 0 sacks given up on 1,202 snaps. What more can you ask for? They're good at running the ball. Now, our 3rd and 4th round pick were traded away in last year's in last year, so they are no longer on the team. Our next pick was a sixth round wide receiver, and he is 4th on the team now, and he is hitting regression. Let's see, he 19 catches for 225 yards and 2 touchdowns on 415 snaps. His time in Green Bay is tenuous because he's getting paid a lot of money, and I think Darren Whiteside has more upside than he does, but Darren Whiteside currently hurt too. So, yeah, see, Flynn is got 92 speed at 5'9". I'll take Darren Whiteside at 6 foot at 93 speed. So he's going to get pushed down the ladder and probably put on the trade block this upcoming year. Our 7th round pick did not make the team, so that ends our 18th draft class. Our 19 draft class consisted of Juwan Mixon, and he is a B- this year. He had kind of a down year in comparison to last year. 38 tackles, 11 tackles for a loss, 8.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles on 823 snaps. I gave him a B-. I just thought he could do a little bit more better on the tackles, but he was 1st in sacks, and that's our defensive tackle, which is saying a lot, and then tied 9th in tackles. So it's more on the fact that there's nobody else as good as he is. Wyatt Tomlinson, we talked about. He's the tight end, the 2nd tight end on the team. He's not being re-signed. He came in this year thinking, I don't know if I really want to play football, and with a slow development. So he had, we went over this already. So JT Fender was our 3rd round pick. He was traded last year, halfway through the year, and then we cut Antone Cherry, a 4th round tight end, halfway through at week 17. That left Emilio Copeland of the 4th round. I'm sorry, it's hard to line up. And he's a backup safety to Clinton Dix. And he got a D. He had 3 tackles on 224 snaps. He should have more tackles. I mean, that's not I don't know. I don't know if I like that, so I give him a D. Scott Weary, we picked up 2 punters, and one of them was kind of a mistake, and the other one turned out to be Scott Weary. And as you can see, he's got 98 kick power, so he was 48.2 average, 42.9 net, 13 inside the 20, a 68-yard long. He was 2nd in average, 8th in net, 5th in inside the 20, and 2nd on the longest punt. So I give him A-. It wasn't as great of a punting year for him, but we just signed him to a long-term deal with 98 kick power, so got some time to make him a 95 overall. And I don't think he gets any higher than that. We signed a left end, Will Merring. He was not re-signed, brought back and not re-signed again. Mark Lincoln Sinclair, defensive tackle. He got it incomplete. He didn't have any stats, and you don't even see him on the thing. So, oh yes, you do. There he is. He's the 3rd defensive tackle, and he didn't play much. Strong safety, Marcus Murrell, right here. Brought him back. He wasn't re-signed. Kind of interesting. Jamal Sankey was the 3rd round pick on offense in 20. We're in 20, by the way. Sorry. We did not have a 1st round pick in 20, and our 20 draft, not so good. Not so good. But Jamal Sankey here, he's 3rd on the list here. He's fast. He has 45 carries for 161 yards. It's a 3.6 yard average. And a couple more touchdowns through the air. He's just not... He doesn't have a very good average. So that's all I got to say about that. Our third round pick was Ray Fennell. And he is right here. He got a C on the day. 37 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, 2.5 sacks, 2 pass defenses on 48 snaps, played half this thing. Still considered a rush lineman, so his man and zone are not good. He's alright, you know. We lost the Super Bowl because we couldn't get to the quarterback, but I don't believe these guys up top, these middle linebacker and these guys, that's not the problem. We had a cornerback, Joe Tanico. I gave him an incomplete because he just didn't have enough stats. He was third in kick return average. Now, the 21 season, which is 2 drafts ago, we drafted another tight end in the first round, Asher Favors. 36 catches, 383 yards, and 3 touchdowns. 4th in yards on the team on 1,128 snaps. Not a very good tight end. Good. We ran the ball well, but not really what we want. Antoine Hubbard. And you don't even see him on here. He was a running back we drafted in the 3rd round, but he only played 1 snap. And he ran the ball on that 1 snap, but that was it for him. Next up is the center, Parker Bingham. He backed up Corey Lindsley. That's what it says here. 0 sacks. Given up on 270 snaps. Fine. It is what it is. Let's see, who's this? This is Trey Loach, the free safety. Right here, the backup safety here. He played on 35 snaps and didn't have any stats for it. We had a right tackle on the practice squad. And our 6th and 7th round players. The quarterback didn't make the team. And the strong safety was signed off the practice squad week 17, so we lost him. He was on the practice squad. He had a chance for the future, but said, you know, it's the risk of putting people on the practice squad. Okay. Here we go. The 22 draft. Our cornerback, Jerron Bazell. 46 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, a half a sack, 4 interceptions, 6 pass defenses, 1 forced fumble on 998 stats. He was 5th in tackles and 1st in interceptions. He turned out to be pretty phenomenal. Pretty happy about that one. Our other first round pick was Vince Trent, the running back, who is now backing up Matt Jones, and he ran the ball a lot. And almost won Rookie of the Year. 926 yards, 3.4 yards a carry, 11 touchdowns, 2 fumbles. So he was first on the team in touchdowns with a total of 12. Scored a lot of goal line touchdowns, but his average sucked. We'll work on that. He's got some experience to spend, so he will definitely be the lead back next year with Matt Jones leaving. Our 3rd, our 4th, our 5th, or our 6th, I mean, we didn't have a 5th, and our 7th, all were stuck on the practice squad. They didn't get any chance to play. And then Darren Whiteside, he had 9 catches for 223 yards. That's a huge average, by the way. And 3 touchdowns on 300, and then he was 2nd in the league in kick return and 1st in the league in punt return on the team. 2nd on the team and 1st on the team. So he did some punt returning, but next year he's going to move up and be the third person on the team, so the third wide receiver, so we're probably not going to risk him for that. We're going to end this episode soon, but we ended the season let's see. I guess we can team talent. It doesn't really say. I was going to look at how we did for how our team grew, but not really seeing that right now. So I'm going to end the episode with that, and we'll pick up the next episode moving into the off season as we went over the grades of the not resigned and the draft picks. We do have the signed the grades for. I did a lot of grading. Can you tell? The grades for the re-signed players, the not re-signed players. This screen is a little different. Signed, not re-signed. We did the not re-signs. The re-signs and signs. I'm sorry, I'm just rambling right now. But anyways, that's it. Have a good night, guys. Talk to you later. If it's night, whatever. Bye. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode 96 of BU Squallers. I just got a new computer. It's amazing to go from technology that was really old to new technology, but I need to work on my OBS's sound once again to get that worked out. I know that it's loud enough, but there's going to be a lot of static. That's frustrating. It's a snowball microphone, a white one, so maybe that's the problem. It's been a while since I played last, and it's been so long that I don't remember half of the things that are going on, but yeah. So we're going to start this episode off with the fact that we lost the Super Bowl, and Clark Hunt won his first Super Bowl. I just couldn't believe it. Anyways, what we're going to start off with, episode 96 is going to have the retirements. Who retired today? Let's see. Eric Berry, Mike Ayatupi. I don't know how you say it, but no, look at these big names. Mason Crosby, the Silver Fox. Richard Sherman, Bill Joseph, AJ Green, Mike Daniels, Doug Baldwin. Angry Doug Baldwin retired. Alex Smith, Geno Atkins.